Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
Today, we've got 5 stories that really show the power and the pressure of the tech world. We'll start with a blockbuster feud, the one between Elon Musk and President Donald Trump that vaporized $150 billion from Tesla's value. Then we'll ask why Apple seems to be falling behind in the AI race, a race that could even threaten the iPhone itself. From there, we'll shift to the world of defense, where a startup called Anduril just landed a staggering $2.5 billion to challenge the Pentagon's old guard. And speaking of what powers all this tech, our 4th story looks at chipmaker Broadcom and the hardware gold rush behind the AI boom. We'll wrap things up with a cautionary tale, a massive cyber attack on Mark Spencer that shows just how connected and vulnerable we all are. All right, let's dive into that first story, the one that feels like it was ripped straight from a movie script. So, what happens when a high-profile tech CEO and the President of the United States get into a public feud? Well, we just found out, and it involves a lot of money. Tensions exploded this week between Tesla's Elon Musk and President Donald Trump, playing out for everyone to see on social media. It apparently started over policy disagreements, a spending bill and some tariffs Musk wasn't happy about, but it escalated quickly. The president threatened to pull government contracts from Musk's companies, including his rocket firm SpaceX. Musk, for his part, basically dared him to do it. So what does this all mean? For Tesla, it meant an immediate 14% drop in its stock price. That wiped out about $150 billion in value in a single day. Investors are, they're spooked. They were hoping for a friendly relationship with the White House to help with things like regulations for self-driving cars. Now, that's all up in the air. And the stakes are even higher for Musk's other ventures. We're talking about, tens of billions of dollars in government contracts for SpaceX that could be at risk. It's just a wild reminder of how a war of words online between 2 powerful figures can have massive, immediate consequences in the real world. A few posts, and suddenly $150 billion is just gone. So, moving from a battle between 2 powerful men to a battle for dominance in the tech world itself. And this one involves a company that's usually at the front of the pack, but might be in danger of falling behind. For a company that put a supercomputer in all of our pockets, you'd think Apple would be absolutely crushing the AI race. But, that's not quite what's happening. A year ago, Apple announced its big answer to ChatGPT, something called Apple Intelligence. The promise was huger, smarter Siri, amazing new features, the works, but the rollout has been, a bit of a stumble. Key features were delayed, and some early tools even had to be pulled for giving out incorrect information. Meanwhile, rivals like Google and OpenAI are sprinting ahead, launching mind-blowing new AI models and even AI-powered smart glasses. So what does this mean? It means the pressure is on. Investors are getting nervous, and even some Apple executives have admitted that this AI revolution is so big, it could one day make the iPhone obsolete. I mean, just think about that for a second. The big question now is whether Apple can pull a rabbit out of its hat. The company's sitting on over $130 billion in cash. And in the past, when they've needed to catch up, they've often just bought their way to the front. I mean, that's how they got Siri in the first place. Ultimately, this is a story about a titan of tech facing a massive, maybe even existential shift. For years, Apple has set the pace. Now, it seems like they're the ones playing catch up. Now, while one tech giant is scrambling to catch up, a new one is being built with the specific goal of disruption. And we're not talking about your phone or your laptop. We're talking about the future of national defense. What do you get when you mix futuristic military tech, virtual reality, and a boatload of cash? You get Anduril Industries. It's a defense tech startup that just raised an incredible $2.5 billion. This new funding more than doubles the company's value, pushing it to a whopping $30.5 billion. The investment was led by Peter Thiel's Founders Fund, which wrote the single largest check in its history to make this happen. So what does that mean? Well, for starters, Anduril is trying to be a major disruptor. Think of it as a nimble, fast-moving tech company going up against the old-school defense giants like Lockheed Martin. And this money gives them some serious firepower. They're using it to scale up production on some pretty advanced projects. For instance, they recently took over a major augmented reality headset program for the US Army from Microsoft, and they're even partnering with Meta on similar tech. Ultimately, this is about more than just one company hitting the jackpot. It signals a real shift in national security, where the future might be defined less by traditional hardware and more by cutting-edge software and AI. It's a massive bet that the next generation of defense will be built more like an iPhone than a battleship. And that brings up a really interesting question. We keep talking about AI in defense in our phones, but what's actually powering it all? What are the nuts and bolts? Well, that brings us to the engine room of the AI revolution, and it is an incredibly profitable place to be. The chip maker Broadcom just announced its latest earnings, and they absolutely crushed it. We're talking about $15 billion in revenue in just one quarter, a 20% jump from last year. So what's the secret sauce? It's AI. A huge slice of that money comes from their custom AI chips, and these aren't the chips in your laptop. No. Think of them as the high-performance engines for the massive data centers run by cloud giants like Amazon and Google. These companies are in a frantic race to build out their AI capabilities, and they are buying Broadcom's hardware as fast as they can make it. And this isn't a short-term blip. Broadcom says its partners are completely committed to investing in AI, and they expect this growth to continue for years. So, yeah, this is more than just a good quarter for one company. It's a signal, a really strong one, that the AI boom is really just getting started. It shows that behind all the flashy software, there's a massive high-stakes race to build the physical foundation for our digital future. And for the companies selling the picks and shovels, business is booming. But here's the thing. All this incredible hardware, this AI boom we just talked about, it's all built on a digital world. And sometimes that world can be shockingly fragile. Now, what we are going to talk about is a story that pulls back the curtain on just how vulnerable some of our biggest companies really are. So, imagine this. You're the CEO of a huge retailer like Marks Spencer, and you open your email to find a taunting message directly from the hackers who've just crippled your system. Well, that's pretty much what happened. A group calling itself DragonForce sent this this gloating email directly to the S boss demanding a ransom, and the damage has been massive. We're talking an estimated £300 million hit, and online orders have been down for over 6 weeks. The hackers also claim they have millions of customers' data. So how'd they do it? Well, it seems they got in through an employee's email account, but wait, here's the twist. The employee didn't even work directly for MS, but for a big IT firm that they partner with. It's kind of like a burglar getting into your house by picking the lock on your neighbor's shed. The investigation is now focused on a wider group, a hacking collective known as Scattered Spider, which isn't really a group in the traditional sense, more of a, loose community of skilled and often very young hackers. It's a wild reminder that a company's biggest vulnerability might not be its own front door, but a side window left open by one of its partners.
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.